Good morning and welcome to Thursday morning's adapted yoga class. Please remember that this class is adapted for people with high blood pressure, diabetes and joint problems. If at any time you feel ill or something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't, so don't do it. Listen to your own body more than you listen to me. So we're going to start standing up. If we want, we bring our legs in line with our hips by making sure that if we use our fist. We can turn our hands and have them facing towards the floor. We can have them in prayer in front of us. Again, completely up to you wherever you want it to be. We're going to do skull cleansing breath. So we're going to breathe out through the nose and pull the belly in. Now we're just going to let the air come back in, and we're going to keep this very slow because if you go too fast, as you go faster, it raises the blood pressure. So we're going to do 10 rounds, stop, take a couple of normal breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then we're going to do another 10 rounds. We're going to do that 3 times. So we're going to do 3 sets of 10, but we're going to keep it slow. Here we go. So we're breathing out through the nose and pulling the belly in. Bless you. And then take 2 breaths in. Now, if at any time you feel dizzy or sick or it doesn't feel right, remember, gosh, go back to these cleansing breaths. Here we go again. We're keeping it slow. And 2 breaths. Last set. Two breaths. Now you'll feel that work in the stomach muscles, and it also churns up the stomach. So you want to make sure you don't do that on a full belly, so you don't want to have eaten before you've done that. So we're going to take it into our neck stretches. We're just going to, if you need to sit down, you sit down. That's why the chair's there, having the chair beside you. Dropping the chin towards the chest. Hold it here. 3 breaths. As you're breathing out, let them shoulders drop down. And then we're bringing the head back up. If you need to, you can support the head as long as the shoulder's okay, and take the chin back. And again, 3 breaths. You can stick the chin up to help increase that stretch without taking that head back any further. And then bringing the head back down. So we're going to tuck the chin in, and we're just going to let the ear drop towards the shoulder. And bringing it back. And to the other side. back. And then we're going to turn and look over the shoulders. And then back to centre and to the other side. And back to centre. So we're going to go into our forward bend. So you're keeping your knees bent. You can stay on the chair and you can do this from the chair as well. Again, thinking about if you've got blood pressure problems. So if you've got back problems, you want to keep that back nice and straight. You're bending the knees. You're bringing yourself forward. You're keeping the chin tucked in. You're letting your body go down, but you're not letting the head drop. You're keeping it up so that your blood pressure doesn't rise. Keeping that back nice and straight. If you haven't got any problems, you can let that head drop. And then we're going to breathe in and we're pushing up. Using the legs to push. Bringing the shoulders and everything back. So I'm going to do this on the chair this time. So from the chair, the same thing. I'm working with blood pressure and back. So we're going forward. We're still keeping that back straight. We're still keeping that head up. But you'll still feel it's stretching and pulling into that lower back, into that bump. Down the spine, you'll still feel them stretches. If you can straighten your legs, you can straighten one leg at a time and feel how it pulls into the hips. But not just the hips, you may even feel it into the shoulders. And we're going to bring ourselves back. Again, you can stay seated on the chair or you can stand up. If you're standing up, you're placing your hands on your back. You're tucking the chin in, so the chin is not going backwards. And it's going to be the same on the chair. You can still have the hands in the same place, still reaching back. So with this, you're tucking the chin in, reaching back, pushing the hips forward. Not letting the head drop back. Keep that in. We've already stretched the neck. Let's stretch that back. Pull the elbows towards each other. And then breathing out to bring it back up. So we're going to do another one of those. Again, I'm going to take it to the chair. So squeezing the elbows together, tuck the chin in, reach back. So with sitting on the chair, it's slightly different. When we're standing up, the hips will come forward because we need to protect that lower back. But because we're sitting, we kind of keep tilting the pelvic in the opposite direction, but still pulling them arms together. So sitting and standing, the hips go in a slightly different direction because of the back, protecting that lower back. As we're sitting down on our bum, we're already protecting our lower back. And then let's bring ourselves back up. Now if you're on the chair, all you're doing is you can open your legs or you can keep them together. It's whatever feels better on your hip, okay? I'm going to do these standing. So, we're going to take our legs slightly wide. Like I said, think about what's happening with the hips. Take the thumbs up. If you can, up to shoulder height. or you can keep them here if the shoulders are hurting. You're going to reach over towards the right and breathe out, lift up. Hold it here, stretch the arm in the air. 3 breaths, breathing into that top lung, thinking about breathing out through the bottom. And then lifting up, bringing it out. So remember, think about what's happening with the back. Let's take it over to the left, reach over, take the hand down, lift up. Breathing in. So the 2 feet are facing forward, unlike triangle where we've got one of the feet sticking out. We're working through the waist. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch the arms, reach over. Breathe out, take it down. Try to stay as if you're in between a pane of glass, you're not leaning forward. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out. Breathe in, stretch the arms, reach over, breathe out. And up and out. Bring the arms down. We're going to take it into a twist. So again, we're taking them arms up, thumbs up, and we're twisting to the back. And we're taking it back to centre. And we're bringing it round the other side. I'm going to move slightly forward because I keep telling people to get up, make sure they've got enough room. You have to have room yourself. Bring it back to the front. And we're going to stretch round the other side. Think about where we're breathing, keeping them feet flat on the floor. You'll feel it stretching through the inner thigh, through the knees, through the calves, all on a diagonal. Also pulling through them hips, so again, make sure that they feel okay. Bring it back, and let's go to the other side. Take the arms down. I'm going to lift that, bring them legs in a bit if they've been out at the side. So, we're going to work our arms. So we're going to swing our arms in front and lift them up and swing them over the head if they can go, swinging them down. So we're turning them, we're lifting them, bringing them, turning them, lifting, twisting. They should naturally want to go in these directions. They may naturally want to twist and turn. So then we're going to bring the right one over the top and the left one to the bottom and see if we can bring it into eagle. So if the elbows don't sit on top of each other, don't bring them together, don't have them touching, and just lift them. Then take them down, undo them, bring them up and back over, And this time when we bring it down, we're going to bring the left one to the front so that it goes on top. We're turning if we can, get it into full eagle, but it doesn't matter. We're lifting up, keeping the elbows on top of each other. We're taking it down. We're going to do that one more. So taking them out, bringing them up, cross them over. The right hand comes to the front. We push up. Bring them down. Now the left one is coming to the front. We lift up. Bring it down. Give the arms a shake. Lovely. So lift the shoulders up and down. Every time you push them down, kind of go. Give them a bit of a shake. Lovely. So from here, we're going to swing our legs. Now, if you're sitting down, then I'm going to show you sitting down first, and then I'll do the standing up with everybody else. So if you're sitting down, you may stick your bum to the edge, and then just lift the leg up, take it out, bring it down, bring it forward. So lift it up, take it out, bring it down, bring it forward. So you're just kind of doing this movement if it feels okay. Okay? So just see how it feels on that hip. For us standing up, if you need to, you've got the back of your chair and you're just going to swing your leg backwards and forwards. And we're bringing it down. We're going to change sides, so we're moving the weight onto the other side and we're swinging it backwards and forwards. So just being mindful of that hip. Don't overwork it. And then bring it down. So, for the next one, we're taking it out to the side. So for anyone on a chair, all I'm going to get you to do is to come up onto your tips. I'm going to do it sideways so it's easy to see. Up onto your tiptoe and just let your knee go in and out. Okay? Then if you want, you can bring it, we'll eventually bring it up on here, but don't do it if it hurts here or here. For us, make sure if you're holding onto a chair that you're not doing this leg, otherwise you'll keep kicking your leg every time you're doing, so it's always the leg away. So you're kicking the leg out to the side. And this time we're working the outer edge of the thigh. So remember thinking about what's happening with the hip. So we're going to bend the knee we're standing on, flex the foot, and see if we can place it on the knee. Pushing that leg out. If you can stand up straight, or you want to take it a little higher, you can, but you don't have to, so I'm going to stay there. And then we're going to lift and take it down. So we're going to take the weight onto the other side. And again, we're taking the foot forward and backwards. Now you can take it across the body as long as you haven't had a hip replacement. If you've had a hip replacement, just bring it to here. And again, with arthritis of the hip, again, you may not want to take it across in case it inflames that area there. So we're going to flex, bend the knee that's standing, bring the foot on, push that knee down. And then bringing it up, taking it down. So we're taking it into sun salutation. I'm going to do the first one from the chair so that my knees don't go to the floor. Because again, we don't want you up and down if you've got blood pressure problems. So if you feel like you just want to leave this out, you can do as well. So if you think, oh no, I'll just sit this one out for a sec and I'll jump back in at the second one, then you can. So bringing yourself into a standing position, into mountain. So knees in line with the hips, lifting the toes, try and stretch them out. Now we want our legs straight, but we don't want to lock. So the back leg is my straight leg, the front leg is a locked leg. We don't want a locked leg, we want a straight leg. Okay, so that we can move our knees, and it's our thighs and our calves and our muscles that are doing the lifting, not the joints, not the bones, not the hips, the knees, the joints. We don't want them to work, we want the muscles to work. So again, this is great if you've got arthritis. So again, we want the knees to face in the same direction as the toes. We don't want the knees turning in towards each other, and we don't want the knees turning out away from each other. We need them to be facing forward. We want to make sure that the feet aren't dropping inwards or they're not dropping outwards. We want to make sure that they're even. We might need to lift the back and move slightly so that we can get ourselves set and open our toes out. Then we want to tighten up all the muscles through the thighs, so squeezing them all. Imagine squeezing the legs together. Think of the pelvic floor. So imagine picking up a pea, if you want to. Imagine at the back, imagine at the front. Pull the stomach muscles in. Bring the hands into prayer, either in front of your chest, or you can lift them up above your head. But make sure that your neck is free to move. Close your eyes if you can. Think of anything you want. So we're going to, the hands aren't raised. You're going to breathe in and lift the arms up and reach back slightly. Pushing the hips forward again. Tuck that chin in, don't let that go back. We're going to breathe out. Bending our knees, taking our hands down either to the floor or to the chair. And again, we can let our head go forward if you haven't got blood pressure problems, but if you have and back problems, keep that back straight. Keep that head up. We're going to take it into a half bend. So we're straightening the legs, pulling the shoulders back, pushing the chest to the floor, trying to get the back as straight as possible. We're going to bend the knees and step back with our right foot into a lunging warrior. Let the hips drop down. Push so that you're feeling the stretch through that psoas muscle. We're going to step back into down dog, bringing the heels to the floor if we can. Push the armpits to the floor. Keep the back straight. If the back starts to round, bend the knees. It's more important that the back's straight than the knees are straight. You'll feel that stretch through the back, through the lat muscle. We're going to come up onto our tiptoes and come forward onto our hands. Pushing our heels away, pulling our shoulders back, tilting our pelvis, squeezing our stomach muscles into plank. We're dropping the hips, we're looking up, shoulders back to cobra, pushing back to down dog. Look up, lift your left leg and step it back towards your hands into a lunging warrior. Let the hips drop down. Step up, bend the knees, go into a forward bend. Lift the head, stretch the arms, breathe in, lift up. Here we go again. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathing out, stepping back. Breathe in, look up, or raise the arms if you want to. Breathe out, step back to down dog. Push the armpits towards the floor. Keep the back nice and straight. Breathe in, come up onto the tiptoes, rolling forward. Breathe out, come to plank. Breathe in, drop the hips into cobra. And breathe out, back to down dog. Breathe in, lift the right leg, lift the head, breathe out, step it forward. Breathe in, lift the arms if you want to. And breathe out, back to forward bend. Lift the head, stretch the arms, breathe in, reach back, bring the hands together in prayer, breathe out, bring it down. Lovely. So we're taking it into triangle pose. Now, again, if you give me a second, I will show you a version on the floor, on the chair. This really does hit your hips. So you have to work out, and everybody's different. Everyone has either, some people prefer a narrow stance, some people prefer a wide stance. You have to decide what's best for your hips. As you move over, you may find that one of them, a wide stance, might pinch the hip a little, or you may find that when you go here, it hurts the top of the spine, the base of the spine. So decide and have a go which one you prefer. Let me just grab a drink, sorry. There you go, that's better. So with straight leg triangle, taking the legs out to wherever you feel you want to go, turn the foot in, but keep the hips, don't let the hips turn. So that's my left foot's gone out. And then you're going to reach over. Now, if you want, you can have a chair, you can have the block, you can have whatever you want, so that you're not going down too far. You can even use the back of the chair and just bring it to here so that you're again not going too far. So one foot, the right foot's facing in, the left foot's out. You're taking it over and bringing it down. The top hand, you can bring the hand behind your back And then use that hand to pull back to look up. But wherever your hand is on your back, that tends to be where if you're going to hurt or injure anything, that's where it's going to be anyway. So if you can look forward, keeping the chin tucked in, or you can turn and lift the chin up, but pushing the front of the neck towards the ceiling to encourage the neck muscles to work. And then we're going to bring ourselves back up. Bringing the hand down, turning the foot in. So I'm going to change my chair over. You can change your block. Turn round. So we're turning the foot towards the chair, keeping the other foot facing forward. So it's the right foot, right foot. We're taking the hands out. We can turn the opposite hand down and behind our back. Breathe out, reach over and bring the hand down. Place it anywhere it can go. It can be the back of the chair. Think about your hips. Use the elbow to pull you back. Move the head if you want, but don't worry if it feels like, no, I don't like it. You don't have to. But with this, you'll feel it through the inside of the knee. But make sure them knees aren't locked, especially that front knee, because we're leaning towards it. You don't want to lock that knee especially. You want to make sure that front knee is relaxed. And then we're going to breathe in to lift up. Taking the hands out. And we're going to do one more. So again, changing. So turning out, taking that hand out if you need to. Reach out. Take it down. Look back. Remember, if you want, you can always take this hand out. But you want to make sure that from here, you turn it from the shoulder. So you're giving yourself a thumbs up. And then you can lift the arm. Now again, if you've got blood pressure, you might want to just keep it in line with the shoulder. Again, if you've got shoulder problems, you might find that you can only lift it to here. If you can, you may be able to lift it higher and bring it all the way over by your ear. But when you're bringing it over, what you don't want to happen is as you're bringing it up, you start to rotate and you end up looking towards the floor and your hands in front of your face. You want to make sure you're always pulling back. And it doesn't matter, I will keep my hand here so that it keeps me pulling back. It's easier to hold it better in this position. And then we're going to imagine someone's grabbed our finger and they're going to pull us up. Bringing it down. So bring the foot in. Let's try the other side. So turning the foot. Breathing out, reaching over. Taking the hand down. Turning the thumb. Breathing in. Holding. If when you're holding you think, oh, that's killing my shoulder, drop it back down. You'll feel that it works the arms. Stretch the fingers out, work the fingers, or imagine holding a ball in between your hands. And that way you're working them hands, or stretch them. Bring blood to them by making a fist, or send blood away from them by stretching the fingers out. So if your fingers start to feel a bit tingly, make a fist and that'll bring blood towards them. So we're going to lift up and bring it down. Give the shoulders a little shake. So we're going to take it into our twisted version. Again, you may prefer to change the length of your feet, taking them in or out. And again, we're going to start by placing our hand on our lower back so that we can feel anything under the hand. That tends to be where there's a problem. So if you spread your hand out, as you twist, if you feel any pain, then bring it back. Don't go too far. Okay? So we're taking our foot and we're turning our left foot out towards the chair. We're going to reach over and bring the hand down to wherever it was before. We're bringing the opposite hand around and we're placing it on the chair. Now we're thinking about this area of the back. Our back foot should be flat and we should be pushing into the outside edge of the little toe. Now it may be that as soon as you try to bring that hand down, you can't go any further and you'll feel the pull on the back going no. So if that's the case, you'd keep your hand on your arm and you'd stay just here. You can always look over the back. If you can get your hand down, you may be able to get the hand onto the back and then place the hand here and then lift in the elbow. But again, it all depends what that body's saying. Again, make sure that you're not locking that front knee, but you're also not rolling into the inside step, inner step of the back leg. You're pushing through the outside edge. And then we're going to drop our left hand back down. We're going to open our right hand at the front. And we're going to go up. And back down. Bringing that foot in. Let's try the other side. So turning the foot out, reaching over, bringing the hand down. So we're taking it into triangle. So our right hand's on the chair. We're going to rotate and bring our left hand around. And like I said, think about where you can get. So some people may just be able to get to here and then they're back saying no. And that's okay. You just bring your hand and hold it wherever you are and stay there. If you can get it all the way to the chair, you bring the hand all the way down to the chair. You then take your right hand off and bring it onto your back. And then if you lift your right elbow up in the air and turn so that you're looking behind you. But always watching, thinking, what's my back doing? What's my hips doing? Are they okay? Are my knees okay? Are my feet pushing down? Am I working the thighs muscles? And the calf muscles? Am I stretching my toes? So let's drop the hands, the right hand down. Rotate, and as we're doing this, we're bringing that left hand up. Remember, it can be to wherever you want to go. And then we're lifting back up. So we've moved in and out in exactly the same way. Bring it down, bring your legs in, give your legs and everything a little shake. Where am I going to? So we're going to do a bit of standing exercise, but you can do this again sitting down. So I'll show you it sitting down and then I'll show you it standing. Because again, it's working on a bit of them hips. So I'll drop that down a little. So with sitting, all you're doing is trying to get your foot to touch the hand, okay? We're going to do it standing up. So I'm going to bring it up again. So for us, we're taking our hands out, we're standing and we're trying to touch our toe with our hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. So again, we're going to try and pull our stomach muscles, pull our belly, everything in, tighten up as much as we can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. So that starts to work the stomach muscles, and it's starting to pull and work on our hips and our thighs as well. So from here we're going to lift into head beyond knee. So we're trying to get our leg out. Now you can put it on the chair and just have it here and hop the foot around, and you can pull it down. You can be sitting on the chair, bring your foot in, hold it out, breathe out and try and pull yourself down towards your foot. Or you can be standing and try to pull your chin down towards your knee. So any of those. I'm going to place my foot on here. I'm bringing it round. I'm pulling my belly in, pulling the toe back and bending the elbows, trying to get my chin past my knee. And bringing it back up. Let's try the other side. So again, whichever you prefer, standing on the chair or using the chair, pull the belly in. Be careful. If you need to, stick your bum, if you're standing, stick your bum against the wall. Work on one bit at a time. So instead of working on the balance and the stretch, just try and work on the stretch, and then work on the balance another day. So we're pulling that belly in, and that helps to get us a little bit closer. And then bringing it up. So I'm going to turn it around, but I'm going to take my leg a little higher. I'll give you a leg so that you can slip. So I've took my leg a little higher, but I'm still resting it on a chair. And I'm pulling forward. So now I'm bringing the leg up in line with my hip. From here, I can always walk my hands down and try and grab hold of my foot with my hands. And again, trying to get the chin past the knee. And then bringing it back up. Let's try the other side. Pulling the belly in. I love this. I think it's so lovely for the back of your thighs. And then bringing it up and taking it back down. Give your legs a little shake. So again, if you want to, you can go to the floor and do plank, but I'm going to do plank from the chair. And again, you can do, oh, it's a bit far. You can do either of them, and if you need to, you can always put extra padding if you find that you need to. You can go either your hands, or you can do the same exercise on your elbows. So it just depends on which is bad. So if your wrists are feeling really arthritic, then you might want to go to the elbows so that you take the weight off the wrists. So I'm going to do it from my hands. We're going to take it into plank. So we're going to step back with one foot onto our tiptoe. We're tilting our pelvis under, pulling our stomach muscles in, shoulders back, gripping with the thighs, so pulling the arms so that the front of the arms are going forward. So if you bend them, they go backwards. They're not going to go out to the side. So from the shoulders, we're pulling back. From here, you can either just keep the foot there, you can lift it and hold. And then bring the foot down, step in, and let's try the other side. So our foot's going back onto our tiptoe, we're tilting our pelvis under so that it flattens out our lower back, we're squeezing our stomach muscles in, we're coming up onto our tiptoe of that front leg, and if we can, we're going to lift that front leg up towards our chest. And bring it down, bring it in. So let's try and step it back. We're going to the 4-1. So bringing one foot, then we're bringing the other foot back. We're bringing ourselves over our shoulders, tilting our pelvis under, squeezing them stomach muscles, pushing from the arms. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath, that will raise your blood pressure. And push back, step in, push back to child if you're on the floor, or just bend and bring your legs, your chest to rest on your lap, or you can go to the chair and go into a child version here. And we're going to do the same version, but we're doing it our same thing, but on the side. So again, the elbow can be down or the hand can be down. And your hands can be in any direction. Your fingers can be in any direction. As long as the joints are in line, that's all that matters. I'm doing it that way. From here, you're stepping one foot out, placing it flat on the floor, and then you're turning to the side. We're doing the same thing. You're tightening up the muscles, squeezing that leg, and then coming up onto the tiptoe. You can stay here on the tiptoe, or you can lift that leg up. And then bring it down, turn round, and bring it in. So we're going to change sides. I'm going to move that round a bit so you can see my feet. So, turning round, the hand goes into any position, it's in line with the shoulders. We're taking the foot out, we're placing it flat on the floor. We're tilting our pelvis under, we're squeezing our stomach muscles, tightening up all the legs, and then coming up onto the tiptoe. We can stay here, or we can try and squeeze, lift that leg up. And bringing it down, bring the hand back to the chair, spin onto the tiptoe, so the hips stay in line, stepping back in. So let's try 1-4-1. So turning, taking the foot out, placing it flat on the floor, squeezing, pushing with the arms, slide that foot down, place it on top, tilt the pelvis in. Keep that arm down, lift it up, whatever you want, it's up to you. We're going to slide that bottom leg in, swing ourselves round, step it in. Let's try the other side. So the hand goes down, we're taking the foot, top leg out, placing it flat on the floor, tilting the pelvis, pull the stomach in, slide the foot down, lift it, Bring that bottom leg in. Spin. Step in. Lift up. Lovely. Give your hands a little shake. So we're going to take it into upside down handstand. I'm going to bring that back up again. And again, you can do this from sitting on the chair as well. You don't have to stand up to do it. I'm going to stand up to do it. I'm going to take this up a little higher so that you can see the tops of my hands. Now, I'm going to remove my top. I'm going to take that down a little bit so that you can see more the back. So, you're thinking of this area here between your shoulder blades. Should have probably worn a better top. You're going to take your thumbs, so the thumbs are pointing out, lift them up, and turn the fingers pointing backwards. Now you don't want to pull your shoulder blades together. You want to pull your shoulder blades apart. But you don't want them up, you want them down. You want to tuck the chin back in. You're pulling the belly muscles in. You're pushing with your arms and squeezing your legs together. So they can be apart or they can be together, but you're pushing as if you're pushing the roof up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're breathing, but you're pulling all them muscles in the pelvic floor. Everything is pulling it. And then we're bringing the arms back down. So we're going to do that again. So this is a handstand, but it's the other way around. So again, thumbs up, breathing in, lifting up. Turn the fingers back, push them to the ceiling. Now if your fingers, you start to feel that the blood's rushing away from your fingers, make a fist, but still pushing back, and that'll help the blood come back to your hands. Squeeze the stomach muscles in, pull the pelvic floor in, squeeze the legs together, tuck the chin in, pull the shoulders down, pull them apart. One more breath. And bring the arms back down. Give the shoulders, give yourself a little shake. Put me top back on. So, we're going to take it the other way around. So like I said, because this is a adapted yoga, I'm not going up into handstand. But we can have a go sort of on our hands and lifting our foot. So I'm going to bring that down again a little. You can take it down into down dog, or you can bring it to down dog on here. So you're pushing into your down dog, bend the knees if you need to. You're then going to come forward onto your hands. Walk the feet in onto your tiptoes, try and get your head between your arms, and then lifting the leg, one leg up off the floor. Trying to keep your head down, and then bringing the leg down. Try and move the weight so that it's over the arms, lifting the leg up. Bring it down, See if you can walk in a little bit closer. Tuck in, lift. Making sure them arms are pushing, the shoulder blades are apart. You're pulling the stomach in. Everything we were just doing standing up. And let's bring it down. It's going to change sides one last time. Push with the hands, push up, lift the leg. Make sure that weight feels that it's over onto the hands as much as you can. And bringing the legs down. Bend the knees. Let the head come down. Feel that calf stretch as you're bending the knees, letting your chest come down. Keep the heels on the floor. Bringing yourself back up. So you can stay on your chair and sit here. If you can, I'm going to bring you to the floor. We're going to finish with our legs up the wall. But if you want, like I said, you can stay here if you can't get down to the floor. If you need to get down to the floor, remember, always have your cushion. Always make sure someone's in the house with you as well if you're not really good at getting up and down. So that if you do need someone to help getting back up, you can give someone a shout. Otherwise, think about putting cushion in. Think about which is your bad leg. Say it's my left. You come onto your right leg and then bring yourself down and reverse that to come back up. That was loud. So we're going to take ourselves with our legs up the wall, and this is a nice alternative version to handstand. Like I said, if you wanted to try it at home, you could. I'm not encouraging it. So with going up the wall, you sit as close to your wall as possible. You may find that it's easier if you put padding underneath your bum, and that kind of just gives you a little boost up. If you can't get all the way into the wall, then just get as close as you can. You're leaning back, you're bringing the leg closer to the wall up, and you're sliding around. You may need to adjust your cushion back underneath your bum, and then you're putting your feet up the wall. Can both of them sit? Yes, that's okay. Lovely. From here, you can let the arms drop out. You can place your hand on your chest and on your belly and think of the air going in and out and creating a wave as it's going in. You can keep your toes and feet up here, but I want you to think about what's happening with your toes. If you're doing nothing with them, then there's nothing actually happening in the rest of the legs. So what I want you to do is to bring your feet so that you're flexing your foot, you're pulling your toes down, you're locking your knees. Very, very rare I say lock your knees, but because there's no pressure on the joints, you can lock your knees. Pull the toes back as much as you can. Really think about stretching the backs of them legs. So now we're going to take it to the other way. So now we're going to point the toes, and you're going to try and push your toes against the wall. So again, the knees can be locked, it doesn't matter, but you're thinking about what's happened, where's that change occurred. Not just in the feet or the ankles, maybe you might have felt it in the knees, maybe you would have felt it in the hips, maybe you would have felt it up the back, maybe you would have felt it in the shoulders. The only way you find this out is if you go quiet and think about your body. So we're going to do that one more time. We're going to change the position. Let's change to that point. back and relax it. But now we're going to try a different one. Now we're going to imagine that we're tiptoeing on the ceiling. So this is a weird, strange thing to do when we're not doing it. So see if you can bring your toes, your feet, into tiptoeing on the ceiling. And relax. And think about the difference between what happened between the knees, the back, everything. As we again do the tiptoe. Must have gone lower. So squeezing, tiptoe. What happens? And relax. What happens as we relax? So now, if you can, again, thinking of them hips, try walking out one leg out to the side. And walking that leg back in. Have your hands if you need to protect that hip. Walk the other leg out. Walk the leg back in. Let's try the other leg. If you wanted, you might be able to do two. But again, I'm keeping it relaxed for people with hip problems. Seeing the difference between the two hips, but having a lot more control. You haven't got a lot of control if you take both legs out at the same time. All the time you're holding onto that leg, so if it starts to hurt, you can bring it back up, supporting with that arm. Let's do another one. And again, when you're in handstand or headstand, these are all the movements that the feet are making as well. So you do these when you're upside down as well. We're going to bend the knees and walk the legs, feet down, so the feet are flat and the knees are bent. We can turn the feet out, so it's the outside edge is touching the back of the wall. And then if we want, we may be able to do the other leg, but we might want to just do it one at a time and just bouncing. Then bringing that foot back in so it's flat. Turning the other leg so it's the little toe out on the edge. And just stretching. Bringing it in. Let's do one more on each side. And last one. Bring it up. So you're going to grab hold of your right leg and lift it up so that the right foot, sole of the foot is up in the air. And you're going to make a circle with the foot. So you're kind of working that knee, but again, we're upside down, so no pressure. But you may feel it also through the hip. You may even feel it all the way up to your head. Let's take it in the opposite direction. We're going to place the foot back on the wall and we're moving to the other leg. So taking it off, flex it up to the ceiling, give it a circle. And let's take it in the opposite direction. Bring it back to the wall. So from here, you're going to pull the legs in and give yourself a little hug. And you're going to roll over onto your side, and we're just stopping here, taking a few breaths, just thinking about how our neck feels, our shoulders, our elbows and our wrists and our fingers. Think about how the spine feels, starting at the top, working through the neck, through the shoulders, down through the rib cage, through the waist, through the hips, into the tailbone. Look how our hips feel, how our knees feel, our ankles and our toes. And then we're gently going to bring ourselves up to seated. And thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to show you how to get off the floor. Wouldn't want to get down on the floor. So again, my left leg is the bad leg. I bring myself over as close as I can go. Use my weight onto my right knee. Bring myself up to seated. So again, thank you very much. I'm going to turn everything up.